This is Neural Newscast.
The essential stories for Thursday, July 23rd, 2026.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Noah Feldman.
And I'm Isabel Moreno.
United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned leaders in Manila today that Iran is demanding control and tolls over the Strait of Hormuz. Rubio told the ASEAN gathering that this attempt to collect fees in an international waterway threatens the global economy and freedom of navigation.
The situation is critical, as Asian markets imported nearly 90% of their liquefied natural gas through that strait last year. Rubio emphasized that if a nation-state is allowed to charge tolls under threat of violence, it sets a dangerous precedent for other regions.
The Secretary of State also claimed that Iran has reneged on its commitments under previous ceasefire deals. While the United States remains open to negotiated settlements, Rubio made it clear that the administration will not stand by while ships are attacked or Americans are targeted.
The energy shock is already being felt in Asian markets. We are seeing countries like Japan and Australia express urgent concerns about further destabilization in the Middle East and its direct impact on global energy security.
In the tech sector, Alphabet reported its first negative free cash flow in at least a decade due to massive AI infrastructure spending. The Google parent company spent $45 billion in the second quarter alone, with 60% of that cost going towards servers.
Tesla also reported negative free cash flow of over $1 billion as it enters a major investment cycle for its own AI initiatives. Shares for both companies fell about 4% in after-hours trading as investors expressed concern over these high spending levels.
Alphabet's total spending on AI infrastructure is now expected to hit as much as $205 billion this year. Chief Financial Officer Anat Ashkenazi noted that demand for AI is still outpacing current investment, suggesting that these heavy capital expenditures will continue.
Despite the high costs, CEO Sundar Pichai remains disciplined, stating that the technological shift to AI tools is still in the early innings. Investors, however, remain cautious about when these extraordinary investments will translate into significant financial returns.
Tropical Storm Bertha is moving toward the Texas coast today after previously making landfall in Louisiana. The National Hurricane Center expects Bertha to maintain tropical storm strength, bringing up to 6 inches of rain to portions of the Texas Gulf Coast.
The storm has already prompted tropical storm warnings from Louisiana to Sargent, Texas, with risks of isolated flash flooding in urban areas. This is the second named storm of the season, following Tropical Storm Arthur, which made landfall in the same region just last month.
In political news, Arizona primary voters have selected Trump-backed candidates for the state's highest offices. United States Representative Andy Biggs won the Republican nomination for governor and will face incumbent Democrat Katie Hobbs in the general election this November.
GOP voters also nominated Alexander Kolodin for Secretary of State, a candidate who has openly opposed the 2020 presidential election results. These primary results indicate that Republican voters in this key swing state remain highly influenced by the former president's endorsements.
Biggs beat a more moderate challenger by positioning himself as a candidate who can appeal to independent voters while maintaining conservative loyalty. However, some analysts have already shifted their general election outlook to reflect a slight advantage for the Democratic incumbent.
Arizona continues to be a central battleground, with 2 of the nation's most competitive congressional districts also up for grabs. Both parties see the state as critical for determining control of the House of Representatives later this year.
In New York, Mayor Zoran Mamdani announced the city cannot legally execute an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu. While Mamdani described the Israeli prime minister as a war criminal, he clarified that the city lacks the independent legal authority to enforce ICC warrants.
Mamdani urged the federal government to join the ICC and execute the warrant when Netanyahu visits for the UN General Assembly in September. The Israeli ambassador to the UN responded by calling on the mayor to focus on local governance rather than international matters.
Here is what else we're watching. Tropical Storm Bertha is expected to dissipate inland over Texas by late tonight or Friday morning. We'll be monitoring the rainfall totals and potential flooding as the center of the storm moves through South Texas.
In technology, we're watching for further market reactions to Alphabet's projected capital spending, which will likely increase over the next 3 years. Additionally, British Foreign Secretary Ed Miliband is arriving in Manila today to join the ASEAN ministerial gathering.
I'm Noah Feldman.
And I'm Isabel Moreno.
That's the briefing for today. Thanks for listening to Neural Newscast.
Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.